If you're like me, you're craving the tranquility and the scenery and the submission to the infinite that hiking and walking along the coast can provide. My name's Morgan, and in some form of Irish, that means by the sea. So at least that's what my late mother told me. So now every time I walk by a body of water, I've got to put my hands in it just to feel more grounded to her. And in this video, I am going to share some tips on the top 11 coastal trails in Europe. They're both good for a day hike, but they're also good for specifically multi-day hikes with nice accommodation and restaurants along the way, and perhaps even luggage accommodation. And if you like that kind of thing, go to the first pinned comment, sign up for my newsletter. I'll send you some hiking swag so you can plan your own adventure on the Fisherman's Trail, including an itinerary builder that took me forever to do. Don't reinvent the wheel, just copy what I did. In no particular order, these are the 11 best coastal treks that are comfortable, because we believe in hiking with a healthy dose of food and wine. It's hard to think of a better place than Portugal to do a coastal trekking route or hiking holiday. But here's the deets. So it goes 142 miles in total on the Fisherman's Trail. That's 230 kilometers for Europeans. You will go 12 to 13 stages, or you can combine a few of them if you're ambitious. Typically, the distances are 18 to 22 kilometers, and the time to hike is basically all year except for July and August. If you want to hike in July and August, you need to be very good at being heat adapted. And also in December and January, some of the services might be closed, like some of the luggage transport companies aren't working that time. And, it can be rainy and cold, but it's not impassable. Whether you're drawn by chance to spot white storks nesting precariously on cliff edges, explore abandoned mansions with vibrant street art painted on them, or simply unwind with a glass of regional wine after a day's hike, this trail delivers an unforgettable blend of nature, culture, and relaxation. So my tip is to skip the first section on the official Rota Vicentina website. Rota Vicentina is the overarching network of trails in Alentejo and Algarve, this big area. The Fisherman's Trail is the coastal section of that. But the first section is kind of lame. I would definitely skip it. So now we're going to England on the Southwest Coast Path. Spanning 630 miles of wild cliffs, golden beaches, and timeless coastal charm. The Southwest Coast Path ignites your spirit with breathtaking beauty and a rugged challenge. This path goes between Minehead to Southaven Point. There are distances of between 10 to 27 kilometers each day, and you can hike it year round. Obviously, like autumn is probably the best time of year to go. Here you can stay in hotels and some campsites as well. The trail's defining feature is its incredible variety. There's craggy cliffs that give way to golden beaches, remote fishing villages, and they contrast with lively seaside towns. There's internationally important wildlife areas, and then there's the Jurassic Coast. Come on, we have to go visit that. Most people don't do the entire thing. It's 52 stages, right? So you can do section by section and just do it a little bit over time. If you did the entire Southwest Coast Path all at once, it would be like climbing Everest twice. So number 3 on our list is the E4 section in Crete. This is a moderate coastal and gorge Mediterranean route. Journey along the wild southern coast of Crete on the E4 trail, where rugged gorges like the Samaria and Aradina meet crystal clear water lapping against the pink beaches like Elafonisi. The southern part of Crete is a dream. I used to go to Crete when I was in the Navy 20 years ago, and I loved it. It was amazing. And then I went to the northern part again, a few years ago with my family, and I was like, oh my God, what happened? This just became corporate. But the southern part, mwah, it's like stepping back in time. Every trail tells a story, from the ruins of Lissos, an ancient city once thriving with trade and with healing sanctuaries, to the charming town of Paleocora. There's a blend of Venetian and Ottoman architecture, and there's so much cultural exchange here. Crete is amazing. My hot tip is that the southern part of Crete remains largely untouched. Go visit it now before it gets over touristed. Let's go to Sardinia, the best place in Italy. The Savaggia Blue is also called the Wild Blue Way, and it's a hard and technical route, and legitimately you need to be able to climb a little bit to do this trek. It goes between Santa Maria Navarrese and Calagonone. It's 37 miles or 60 kilometers. Most people do it in 1 to 3 stages. It's not very far, but there's a lot of elevation gain, and you need to be able to get in a harness. The best time to hike it is spring or early fall. And basically, it is one of the most demanding and iconic coastal treks in Sardinia. Sardinia is like the Dolomites meets a Gatorade blue ocean. It's somewhere you need to go hike it. If you're not into the whole climbing thing, you can hike along one of the many coastal paths that are there as well. Just be prepared, bring a lot of water, and it gets very hot starting in like April. Okay, next we're going to France. We're going to go on an easy Atlantic route that's steeped in history, salt, and sea spray. It's where castles rise up out of the ocean. Mont Saint-Michel. That is the freakiest thing. It's super cool. The trail, though, is actually 2,000 kilometers long, which is insane. That's 1,200 miles. And it basically follows the Brittany coast the entire time. Most people do it in 50 to 60 stages, around 15 to 30 kilometers each day. And of course, you can do this year round. Winter might be kind of sucky. Of course, like August might be a little bit hot, but it's fairly north, and you're going to stay in hotels and campsites. Okay, let's head north to the Baltic Sea. So we're getting off the Atlantic and Mediterranean. We're going to the Baltic. So the E9 path goes across Europe, but the section in Germany is extra special. It's where sandy beaches, dunes, and forests merge seamlessly on a blissfully flat. Do you want a flat trail? Come to the E9 in Germany because it's well marked, and there are plenty of villages to stay along the way. So it goes between Wismar and Zingst. It's 100 miles or 160 kilometers, usually done in 8 stages between 15 and 20 kilometers. Autumn is the best. Because it's so refreshing and peaceful, the towns along here have stood up some really cool events for people that are hiking or biking along the E9, like photography courses. There's dance classes that are held in the middle of town, which sounds so cool. There's interactive museum exhibits and whatnot. So if you kind of like to mix up your culture and nature, this is a great place to go. And especially if you get really bothered by elevation gain, this is the perfect place to test your mettle because it's completely flat. Everyone should visit the Italian Riviera. It's beautiful. Cinque Terre. Oh, Cinque Terre. But it is crowded AF. And there's a famous hiking trail called the Blue Trail. And it's crowded AF. So when I looked into the Cinque Terre, what I found was the Alta Via della. So basically the high trail. So if you're just willing to work a little bit harder, which of course you are, you're watching a hiking video, you can get above all the crowds. You can always dive in and go down to every village in the Cinque Terre, 5 villages. You can stay in all of them, you can whatever. But you get the spectacular views and all of the cool vibe of the Italian Riviera without all the crowds. This is insane. So the summary of it is it's 31 miles, 50 kilometers. It goes from Levanto to Porto Veneta. Most people do it in 1 to 2 to 3 stages. If you do it, it's like 15 to 30 kilometers each time, and you can hike it all the time. And of course, you should stay in a hotel. We're going next to Catalonia and Spain. This is the Mediterranean Trail, otherwise known as the GR92. And it's an easy Mediterranean route, except for in summer. It's actually really long, like almost 600 kilometers. And it was used by the officials to try to stop smugglers. And so now it's a hiking trail. You get to go by all these turquoise waters, hidden caves, ancient castles, and through the vibrant villages and actually through Barcelona directly. It ends in the Ebro Delta. Originally, though, it was following the Camí de Ronda, and that somehow used to be a path that connected the entire coast of Spain. All right, next on our list is the Lycian Way, but it is moderately challenging, and you do need to be able to have some gear because a couple of the days, if you do the entire trek and not just a section, you need to be able to wild camp at least a couple of the days. The entire path is 472 miles or 760 kilometers. Most people do it in about 30 stages, and you go between 10 and 27 kilometers a day, 6 to 18 miles. Again, this is another, we're talking coastal, so spring or fall, maybe winter as well. It might be hard to get some guest houses in the winter. I feel like a lot of people might be not even gonna be worth it to be open. But if you did plan everything in advance, you might be able to do it in winter. All right, I'm going to be real. The closest I ever got to doing the Camino del Norte, one of the Camino de Santiago paths, was going to BBK Live in Bilbao. If you do hike the Camino del Norte, it goes between Iran and Santiago de Compostela. It's 835 kilometers. Most people do it between 30 and 35 stages, around 20 to 30 kilometers a day. And of course, you can hike it year round. Like most places in Europe, in the winter, there's going to be a lot of problems with getting an accommodation in the dead of winter because people take vacation. The coolest thing about the Camino del Norte is the seafood. Do not expect any vegetables. But the seafood is amazing, as is when you're in Asturias, get that cider. It's so good. You're going to start off in San Sebastian and then make your way down. I've always wanted to go to Scotland, and this trek, the Arran Coastal Way, is one reason to go. It is a loop trail that goes around the entire island of Arran. It's 108 kilometers long or 67 miles. Most people do it in 5 stages or daily of 15 to 27 kilometers. You can do this hike year round, and what's really cool about Scotland is that wild camping is not illegal. And because I love you guys so much, I'm going to include a bonus 12th coastal trek on the Portuguese Camino de Santiago. This is a special and somewhat unknown route called the Littoral Way. It goes between Porto and Santiago. It is largely unmarked, but it's pretty easy to find your way because the ocean is always on your left if you're headed towards Santiago. It's 275 kilometers long, and most people do it in 13 stages that are 16 to 27 kilometers each day. And if you like that kind of thing, check out my video about a deep dive into the Portuguese Fisherman's Trail. It is one of the best coastal hikes in Europe.